In extrusion process, the total output Qt is equal to output due to the drag flow minus output due to the pressure flow. Then Qt is equal to 1 by 2 pi WH n d cos phi minus WHQ divided by 12 neta into delta P divided by L. This is the formula of the total output in the extruder, extrusion process, where W is equal to width of the channel, S is equal to depth of the channel, N is equal to rotational speed, D is equal to diameter of extruder, and phi is equal to helix angle, and delta P is equal to change in the pressure, and change L is equal to length of extrude. Now you can see the total flow rate directly proportional to the width, height, depth of the channel, rotational speed, and total flow is directly proportional to the cos phi. So increasing the phi, the cos phi decreases. That's why. Then after the matching in the question, the flow rate increases by increasing the channel depth, increasing the rotational speed, and decreasing the helix angle. So the correct option is C. Answer. The polyethylene granule used to the making of the film by the extrusion process, and polycarbonate granule used to making the product in injection molding, and polystyrene sheet used in the making product by the thermoforming. Example, coffee cup. Coffee cup is made by the polystyrene by thermoforming process. And plasticized PVC, by the plasticized PVC converted into the PVC sheet by calendering. The stress-strain diagram of the metal, plastic, and elastomer. This is the strain diagram for the elastomer. This is the strain stress diagram for plastic, and this is the strain stress diagram for metal. So you can easily see the modulus of the metal is the greater than modulus of the plastic and modulus of elastic. So the modulus ratio, modulus metal greater than plastic greater than elastomer. And elongation property, elongation, you can see the elastomer is the more elongated by application of the forces than the plastic, and then the less expanded by metal. So the elongation property for the elastomer much greater than plastic and metal. Elastomer, plastic, and metal. Then the correct option is C. Answer. Beauty rubber used in the making of the inner tube, tire inner, waterproof film, and vibration isolation. And fluorocarbon elastomer used in the making of the gasket valve due to the presence of the fluorine atom. Nitrile rubber used in the making of the tire tread, hand gloves, conveyor belt, and nitrile rubber. Nitrile rubber is the petroleum resistant, that's why it is used in the making of laboratory gloves, petrol hose, fuel transfer hose. The some material and their melting point. This is nylon 6. Nylon 6 have the melting point 265 degrees centigrade. Polybutylene terephthalate have the melting point around 220 degrees centigrade, and polypropylene have the melting point around 165 to the 170 degrees centigrade. LDP have the melting point around 106 to the 1112 degrees centigrade, and SDP have the melting point around 135 degrees centigrade. PTFE polytetrafluoroethylene. PTFE had the melting point around 327 degrees centigrade. Nylon 6 have the melting point around 230 degrees centigrade. Polystyrene have the melting point around 240 degrees centigrade. Polycarbonate have the melting point around 220 degrees centigrade. PET polyethylene terephthalate had a melting point around 250 degrees centigrade. Plasticizer is used to increase the flexibility in the polymer. Some example of the plasticizer is pentachlorothiophenol, phthalic ester, dioctyl phthalate, tricresyl phosphate. Vulcanizing agent used to the cross-linking in the polymer. Some example of the vulcanizing agent: sulfur, peroxide, zinc oxide plus ethylene thiourea. Accelerator activator used to the increasing the vulcanizing rate in the elastomer. Some accelerator example: zinc oxide, stearic lead, magnesium oxide and thiourea. Age resistor example: the paraphenylene diamine. The order of the impact strength. First, PF is a thermoset polymer which are the brittle in nature. So less impact strength. Second is the polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is the engineering plastic and known for the high impact strength. ABS is the elastomer, and due to the presence of the butadiene in their repeat unity, it is also show the high impact strength. But compared to the polycarbonate, the polycarbonate have the high impact strength compared to the ABS. And second is the PP. So the correct order is highest impact strength of the polycarbonate, then ABS, then PP, and PF is the phenol formaldehyde, the thermoset plastic which are in the nature in the brittle, so the less impact strength. Then the correct option is D, answer. For the copolymerization process, let R1 and R2 is monomer reactivity ratio. When first condition, when R1.R2 is equal to 0, then the polymer formed by the copolymerization is alternate copolymer. Second condition, when R1.R2 is equal to 1, there is a two condition. If R1 is not is equal to R2, in that case form ideal copolymer. But when R1 is equal to R2 is equal to 1, in that case form random copolymer. Condition number 3. When R1 is less than 1 and R2 is also less than 1, in that case the polymer formed by the copolymerization technique is the combination of combination of random and alternate copolymer. Four. When R1 is greater than 1 and R2 is also greater than 1, in that case the polymer formed by the copolymerization technique is block copolymer. Condition number 5. When R1 dot R2 goes to infinity, in that case the polymer formed by the copolymerization technique is homopolymer. Then remember this condition